doesn't matter who starts, but if you can critique the current position holder and give specific examples of how it can.
Well, I think that Donnell is a very charismatic person. He's very personable. I find it extremely easy to talk to him about problems. But the one thing that I have to say about his run is that I wish he didn't push things to the side when they could have been talked about at meeting. For example, there were a few things I was working on, such as apparel, that I felt like could have been discussed at board meeting, but he chose to save them for later, and I prefer to talk to things about things in person rather than over email or text.
Okay. Well, one critique that I have of the current president would be that I feel like he didn't focus enough on the mission statement that's stated in the Constitution for PASS. I feel like we did focus a lot on the family aspect, and that is very important, but I feel that that's something that we should show to general members and that we should show as a club rather than constantly state it to ourselves.
Any questions from the floor? Rosalinda?
What are some of your weaknesses that might affect your presidency?
As a person, I feel like I take on too much responsibility for myself. That being said, I have learned how to rely on others for help, because I learned by being this only marketing publicity director that I'm not alone, that I can rely on my board members to help me with my work.
I feel like one of my weaknesses is that even though I might be able to grab the attention of an audience, I might not be able to always keep it for a long period of time. I feel like a good way for me to work on that is to be more concise with what I'm saying, and that just that requires preparation.
Leona?
What are your views on effective communication?
I believe communication always starts with two people. There might be one idea, and you start there. Then after that, I think that the idea then needs to be moved to a group. And rather than having it through text or email where things can get misconstrued, we need to discuss it as a group, in person.
I feel like for communication, it's also about trust. In terms of, like for instance, if we were to post something on our board page, it's not about seeing who liked it to confirm that they saw it, but it's just believing that people, or that our board members are passionate about the club to check that board page, to check the messages, the text messages, and make sure that we're always up to date with each other.
Diana?
What can you bring to pass that you think your opponent can?
Before you answer, I want to remind the candidates that this is a question about them and not about their opponent's weaknesses. So, thank you.
Okay, well, I'll go first. I feel like in terms of what I'm doing currently with my life, moving up in the management team at my work, I feel like I can bring that management kind of aspect from work to PASS in terms of delegating things efficiently and making sure that that me as a president, I'm more of a supporting role in terms of making sure that everyone feels comfortable with what they're doing and giving them the main spotlight and just making sure that that spotlight works.
I feel that I have a lot of creativity inside of me, not just in regards to art and things of that nature, but I like to take problems and really think out of the box and come up with new ideas and solutions that might have not been thought before in the beginning.
Gabby and then Mark.
Walk us through each quarter what accomplishments you've made in your current position, and what you feel is worthy of mentioning.
Well, I took the website and revamped the whole entire thing. I added new graphics, I updated all the information, and created a whole new system that is completely different from the old one. In winter quarter, I also was in charge of to start designing spring apparel, which is now turning out beautifully. And in spring quarter, I finished the Ways Goose booth, and I'm very proud of what I have created with the help of my fellow members.
Well, mine starts in summer. Once I got access to the Gmail account for the PASS alumni director position, it was kind of a mess, to be honest, and I organized it all completely. I put it into class structures. I made sure that everyone was getting the alumni email, and I would send constant emails to the people who just graduated to make sure that if they wanted to be a part of it, that they could just send me the email. Going into fall, I was given the opportunity to actually follow Melissa Ramoso's campaign. She was running for city council in Artesia, and she invited me to go out. So I brought a general member, and I offered that to everyone in the club so that they can experience what it's like to be running a campaign, or at least following that campaign. In terms of winter quarter, we had the CAP conference, and Robert asked me if I could have Melissa Hermoso speak, and we actually, and Melanie, we actually were able to get her to be our keynote speaker, along with Jenny Nolasco, who sat into one of our panels. So that I felt like that was strong because that was a connection that I had started in fall. In terms of spring, like I said in my internal, we got Park Day coming up, and I really appreciate if you guys came. Shameless plug.
Carmelissa and then Danessa.
So you guys are both board members and you've had experience being in PASS. And your board position caters to a certain group of people, whether it is like your board members giving them graphics or giving them all the publicity that you can do. And Gerald, you've been like an intern, you've been MNP, and you also been alumni. Like that's specific groups. But as president, you're going to be talking to anyone and everyone. How would you say your people skills are, and how would people what do you think people perceive you as when it comes to being social and meeting new people?
I think people see me as extremely extroverted, which is very surprising because I got introverted on the personality test. I've also been told that I'm extremely charismatic and positive thinking, and I have extremely good people skills. I've worked in the food industry, and I've learned how to deal with customers on a less personal level.
I would like to think that I come off as extroverted and that I come off as passionate about what I care about. I like to categorize myself in extroverts, and I got that on the personality test. Yeah, I like to see myself as passionate. Like I said.
Danessa, and then I have a question.
Okay, so like Carmelissa said, both of you have been in PASS for a very long time. What would you do, or during your time here in PASS, was there anything that you wish you saw more of, or that you wish you can bring out, or something that you can probably enhance? If so, what is it if you were to be elected president?
This year especially, I loved how the board members had this very strong connection with each other. We work really well together and very cohesively. But I really wish that we had more of a connection with our general members by inviting them, say, to dinner after our board meetings, or maybe when we plan like little get-togethers together, to invite the general members as well, because I really want to get to know them.
Well, one thing that drew me to PASS my first year was the mission statement and what PASS stood for in terms of getting college students ready for what happens after college, introducing them to the idea of networking. I feel like we don't focus on that as much as we say we should, and I really want to bring that to PASS next year if I become president.
I'll ask a question and then Francis. Define leadership and define professionalism.
I believe as a leader, you need to be able to listen to others and also be able to make decisions. Also, as I said in my statement, I believe that a leader is somebody who can connect to others on a personal level, and I believe that helps inspire them to pursue the goals that they want to have. As for professionalism, I do not believe that professionalism is completely based off of the way you dress, because seeing myself, I have dyed hair, I have piercings, but I still know how to carry myself in a professional manner, which is to be able to leave a good impression and to show them that you are capable of doing the things that are asked of you.
So in terms of professionalism, like we spoke about in the meeting that I actually helped run, I believe that professionalism is catered to what that profession is. Like in terms of how you dress, in terms of how you conduct yourself, will be different in different professions. Say like as a professional athlete or as a pastry chef, you'll have to know your crowd and your community, and you'll have to kind of adapt to that and make sure that you're reaching out to the crowd correctly. And in terms of leader, I'd like to think of a leader as a person who hears everyone and listens to the people even if they're not speaking. If